women, one big life. And today I wanted to talk about my sort of lessons or themes for being in my 60s. I think it started probably when I was in late 50s, coming into being 60. And I think the thing that really caught on for me was this idea of momentum. And so for me, every single thing that I do, I try to think about like what are the most important things I'm trying to move forward, I'm trying to get to. Um, and then everything I do each day, each week, each month, each quarter is connected to having momentum towards that particular goal. Right. So even when Beth and I are planning our trips or imagining our lives in semi-retirement in different parts of the world, we are always looking at having momentum towards that end, right? So what that means is the planning is equally as fueling as the actual event. So the intricate idea of like where we want to go or what you want to spend or which airline you want to take. All those things are part of the excitement of having momentum. And when you have momentum, you tend to do the things you're meant to do to get to that work, right? So I have been recently thinking about my coaching business and thinking about how I get or regain some momentum with my coaching business. And so I have been trying to really think about what are the moving parts that I need to get in place so that I can move my coaching business forward. And so some of that work is just putting my head down and getting it done. And some of it is learning a new skill, which for me, I love that. I love the challenge of having something new. And a little piece of it is letting go of the outcome, right? So I can jump from here to over here without maybe a few failures along the way. And so if I'm tied to the outcome in terms of my identity, like if I fail, then that means like I'm not worthy. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be a coach, all those things. And then nothing to do with that, right? It's nothing to do with those things. It's about like getting to be in a learning space and being okay with not being totally perfect every single time that I do something. So I would say for me personally, the big theme for my 50s and 60s has been about momentum towards the things that are important to me. And sometimes that momentum is just I just put my hand on it and push it a little further down the road. Um, the other piece of it is sharing that in a partnership means that we have to get aligned on the things that are important to us. So when we've transitioned from being travelers to being more at home and back in the workspace and thinking about our next adventure, we also have to get momentum with the drains in the house and the cleaning the windows and raking the lawn. And so each day we put ourselves a little task to do towards those things. And at the same time, we're having this sort of momentum with the travel. So we're thinking about, okay, if we are going to do high rocks again, where are we going to do that? So there's a lot of options. We could do that in Europe when we're in Europe in September, October, November. We could do that in Southeast Asia when we're there. Or we could go on a cruise in October. There's a High Rocks cruise. Who knew? So all this to say, as Beth would say, is that momentum is making sure that you're putting your hands on the projects, the ideas, the things that you want to work on every single day. And that has to come with intention. So for me, I have to intentionally schedule and block some time out where I am learning how to do the technology of like changing my website, the technology of setting up email streams, which I hate. but I'm working on it and I'm trying to get to it. So if I want to encourage all of you to take a moment to think about like what do you need momentum with? Where do you need to generate some energy towards a goal and just put your hands on it. If you've been thinking about doing something and you just been thinking about it, maybe the time today is to take the first step. So this is two women, one big life, and you have a big life by making sure you have momentum.